when you plug it in, your control's always going to be down here at the bottom. It's going to give you a code. That's just for our purpose, just to tell us what kind of firmware this control has. So it was DU1 or DUI in this case. So you'll see either DU2, 1. Those would be the only two you would see in this lineup of product. So that's for our purpose only. A DU2 would be like an all wine. So those would be the only differences.
DU1 is going to be your standard fridge, your drawers, all that other. So
yeah. So other than that, the control should always, after it does that like 10-second startup, it should always show you what the ambient temperature is inside the unit. So just kind of a rough average. And then there's going to be a delay. We'll just wait for the delay. But outside of all this, so let me just turn it off. So if you did plug it in and it just simply said off, you would just want to hold the power button. If it said off, it should only say off. So unless you, let's see, so this is going to be locked. So it's always going to show you this dot here. That's just going to resemble off. It will only show off for 5 seconds. We changed that because we didn't want when it's off that LED illuminating through the grill so just a dot. So, but you would just hold the power button in, and it takes about 10 seconds. And it's going to say on. That's it. Just turn from off to on. But it should always be in the on position. It should always start up. As long as it's showing you a temperature, then that's really, it should be working and functioning. So now there is. So another thing, I put it in Celsius. So if you had that happen, so Celsius, you just hit this top button one time, and that switches it from Fahrenheit to Celsius. And I have a book. I said it somewhere.
it's over here.
But the manual that comes in the unit, always reference that kind of in the middle of the book. It kind of, runs you through a couple of those settings. So if you, don't expect you to memorize that. But yeah, if you just, it's in Celsius, just change it to Fahrenheit. So it just tells you how to do that. The control also auto locks after 60 seconds. So if the customer asks you about, changing a setting or the set point or how it functioned, refer them to the book, go through it with them if need be. But it's just always the top 2 buttons to lock and unlock it. So if you hold these, it's going to say lock, LOC, and then it's a UNL for unlock. So that's it. And then you'll have the little indicator. This fan down here is just telling us that the fan inside should be running, and then the other LED indicator is going to be for the compressor for the cooling. And then we have one for defrost, would be melting snowflakes. So, but that's really it for the control. For what you guys, there's really not a lot of other troubleshooting outside of that, even for our technicians. We have good power to it, is it putting out the power to the components, and then if either good or bad control. So, I say that, the set point. So just holding, pressing the up or down arrow is going to show you what it's set for. So we could just change it. If a customer said, I wanted it 38 or 40, a little bit warmer, then you could just change that. And then once you have it set to that, whatever that desired setting is, that's it. You do not have to hit like any buttons to lock it in or anything like that. And then we would just recommend they have 24 hours to allow that temperature to offset to whatever they changed it to.
And you can only change temperature in the unlock mode?
Yes. Okay. Yep. So you're always going to find the state of the control is always going to be in lock. So this is automatic lockout is 60 seconds. So it's always just the top 2 buttons to unlock, and that would be how you would change the setting.
And generally that's because a lot of these are going in stadium areas or places so that kids have access to them. you don't really want a kid who's probably more likely, yeah, exactly, to mess around with it when they find that control. And so it does take just a little button combination to unlock it.
And we do have the manual, as PDF form on our website. So the manual that comes with every refrigerator is on our website as well for easy access.
Yep, and it's on our website also. If the customer, you want to refer them to there.